views and opinions expressed do not necessarily reflect those of Access Fort Wayne, the Allen County Public Library, or any other supporting groups. If you'd like to produce a show, call us at 260-421-1250.
Let me be your lighthouse so I can show you the way. Let me be your shining light, I'll keep you from drifting away. I'm the one that makes you try when...
Hello, this is Patty Hunter of Patty's Page. Today's guest on my show on Skype will be Claire Bates. She is a singer, activist, and a social worker. So she'll be on in a minute, maybe less. Hang in there. Hello, Claire Bates. Welcome to my show, Patty's Page.
Thank you, Patty. I appreciate that you put such time and energy into hosting people that are sharing creative things. I think that's a wonderful gift that you give.
What you're doing for the community is very important. You are a singer, an activist, as well as social worker. What else?
I also teach nonviolent communication, which is a form of working with conflict, and I guess I would say I'm a conflict practitioner as well.
So you went to university or college to learn that?
Well, I got a psychology degree at Huntington University in Huntington, Indiana, which is how I developed my connections in the first place with Fort Wayne, Indiana. And I got a master's in social work with an emphasis on international conflict at University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill in the center of North Carolina.
We lived in North Carolina, Charlotte, North Carolina. Was that near where you were?
You did?
Really? Yeah. We were there for about 3 years, eh?
Yeah.
How long were you there?
Oh, cool.
4 or 5? How long were you there?
About 3 years.
3 years.
Yeah.
So when you left university, what'd you do?
So when I left undergraduate school in 2010, I did some work with kids in the social work field, especially related to kids and trauma, and then kids and homelessness. And I also taught preschool for a while, and then I started doing work related to conflict. I got training in nonviolent communication and started teaching that as an approach as well, and doing that with communities and organizations. And I'd always been really interested in the ways that the entire world is connected and we're all related to each other, which I think you could, if the listener has seen the image related to the Corona song, there's actually an image of people around the world holding hands, well, not holding hands, but being 6 feet apart and working together. And I've always been pretty interested in the interconnections between people across the world. So when I went to study my master's in social work, I had the privilege of going to a school that has a lot of at the same time as studying social work, also just get more of a sense of... I'm sorry?
I said, oh yeah, continue.
Yeah. I was able to develop more of a sense of the way that the U.S., the way that our lifestyle and policies and approach fit in with the broader picture of what's going on around the world. So I did some social work with refugees in central North Carolina and northern Uganda, and veterans as well. And and also a little bit of research on development and sort of ways that are approaches that are being used to help people get their basic needs met around the world, some of the strengths and weaknesses of those. So
who do you work with? Do you work by yourself or?
Right now,
yeah.
Currently I am working independently. Once I graduated from my master's in social work program, I had a grant for a year where I was developing an approach for dialogue between various community members, especially people severely impacted by war, whether they're military members or veterans or families or refugees or peace activists or just people that care about the impacts of war, bringing people together to connect and make a difference over that. And then after that, I gradually started to work part-time in other things, but increasingly focus on music as my main form of contribution. And I really like to, I love the ways that music and community gatherings can come together. So if a community or one organizer or two organizers can identify a topic that they care about, then a creative event that includes music that I'm doing, but also could include other people sharing things impromptu or sharing things that they planned in advance, and also community discussion on an issue, sometimes some art creation, can really be a way to bring a community together in a very positive sense, even if the issue that they're coming together about is a very challenging one. So that I have a lot of inspiration and care about. I hope that answers your question.
It certainly does. I have another question. Do you write your own lyrics and do your own singing? Do people collaborate with you? Or, well, we did.
Yeah, I do mostly write my own music and lyrics, and increasingly that's a good portion of what I play. When I first started getting out playing music anywhere, which was probably about 5 or 6 years ago, just open mics, I played a lot of cover songs all the time, and I like that because I like to be able to choose songs that other people have written. And Patty, I think as a songwriter, you'd probably appreciate knowing that a singer would like to choose songs someone else has written that make a difference and speak to something I care about. I like to do that with cover songs, but increasingly over the past year or two, I've started to incorporate more of my own music, and sometimes I collaborate with people like you and I collaborated on the coronavirus song.
So our song, the Corona song, oh my God.
Yeah.
Your mom, Catherine, did the artwork for our song, which was excellent. Thank her for me, give her my love. And Kevin Johnson was the one that mixed it for us. And who else? You, me, Kevin Johnson, Catherine. My goodness, we did a good job, didn't we?
I'm happy with it, and I agree with you that my mom did pull the song together or the message together in an especially powerful way, and I'm also so glad that you had the seed of the idea for that song through the lyrics that you wrote that allowed the rest of us to come together with you and make that song happen.
So, basically your songs, what are they mostly about? Are they what's happening around the world, like what you and I did for the Corona song, trying to bring people together and work with each other? Is that what the songs you think?
I'd say that I could the songs that I write, I might divide into about 3 categories and I would generally say that I'm usually trying to make them broad enough that even if the specific experience in the song isn't your experience, you can still relate.
Yeah.
And I think the first category would be songs of protest, so songs of singing about things that are hard or don't seem fair and just wanting to bring those to light. Yeah. The second category would be personal songs related to like transition or love relationships or family relationships, things like that, sort of very internal space kind of thing. Yeah. And then the third song would just be like encouraging songs for working together to make society better. I think that probably our song falls into that category.
Yes, inspirational, really. I usually write inspirational stuff. So, well, we are getting into the last several seconds of our interview. I was thinking maybe we can do some singing for us. You have a guitar and all that jazz? So, how many...
I do. Let me just take take a sip of water here.
Okay.
Hold on a second.
Well, wow, that's a sip. Have some water. Swallow, swallow. Ah.
Okay.
Tune her
Well,
up.
Patty, I just want to say thank you so much because I love that you have such a creative spirit and that you want to bring people together who are doing creative things and highlight their work on your show. I think that's really a very significant thing that you're doing. So I thank you for that. I'm just going to scoot my chair back a little bit real quick.
So what are you going to sing first?
This. I will sing a song that so you and I wrote the Corona song, and this is a song that I wrote a few weeks before that, struggling with an illness myself that was probably the coronavirus. A doctor had said to me. And I was reflecting on the vulnerability and resilience that we as humans can experience, that we go through really hard times and we still try to find a way to take care of ourselves and make things better for ourselves and others and find our way through. And that's part of what it is to be a human being. That's part of the significance of that. So this song is called Blade of Grass. I'm here to say that I can grow in the brightest shadow. I'm here to say that I can rest in the darkest shade. I'm here to say that I am just a blade of grass, but a blade is still a blade. I'm here to say that I can grow in the brightest shadow. I'm here to say that I can rest in the darkest shade. I'm here to say that I am just a blade of grass, but a blade is still a blade. A blade is still a blade.
That was beautiful. I liked it.
Thank you. Thank you. That's hopefully a sing-along song. Sometimes if I'm having people sing along, I might sing it a few more times through. But if someone is listening to your show, they can always pause it and go back and repeat and sing it again. I'm setting my guitar aside because the next song I'm going to sing is a cappella. Just a second. So I am going to sing the Corona song, which Patty and I wrote together.
Water. Sounds like a good idea.
Okay. Thank you, Patty, for writing these lyrics. Something is hurting us here on this precious earth. It's a deadly bug, I fear, coronavirus here. We must band together, working with each other, looking for a cure to save us and endure. Please wear your mask, please wash your hands, keep 6 feet apart. We must do this by heart. Defeat this killing germ, the one that's doing harm to people on our sphere, and drive it out of here. We must band together, working with each other, looking for a cure to save us and endure. Please wear your mask, please wash your hands, keep 6 feet apart. We must do this by heart. Please wear your mask, please wash your hands, keep 6 feet apart. We must do this by heart.
Lovely. I wonder where you got that from.
I know. Does it sound familiar?
It does indeed. It's so familiar. I am actually singing in my head, and I can't get rid of it.
I know that happened to me just yesterday.
It grows on you. It grows on you, girl.
It grows on you. Yeah. Well, I'm glad we wrote a song that can stay in people's heads, hopefully as long as we all need to wear masks and stay 6 feet apart. And then maybe we can forget after that, or just remember it fondly. So this next song is a little bit more of a protest song, and it's about the fact that in our society, there are a lot of reasons that we have to take care of ourselves somewhat protectively, and it's asking, a longing for a society in which we can let down our guard and take better care of each other as well. For reference sake, verse 2 uses the words Faraday hat. A Faraday hat is something, well, a Faraday cage or a Faraday anything is something that blocks a signal from coming in or out, like a cell phone signal, a radio signal. So a hat would be, something that blocks that signal. So you'll hear that in this song.
What's it called?
So the song is called Spiky Shells.
Mm-hmm.
And I wrote it in California, in the part of California where I sensed that people were really needing to defend themselves against a lot of kinds of injustice. You gotta have a spiky shell. You gotta have one. You gotta wear it well. You gotta have a spiky shell. You gotta have one and wear it well. You gotta have a spiky shell to live these days. You gotta have a Faraday hat. You gotta have one, that's where it's at. You gotta have a Faraday hat. You gotta have one, that's where it's at. You gotta have a Faraday hat to live these days. And you gotta have some running shoes. You gotta get used to those running blues. You gotta have some running shoes and make your peace with the running blues. You gotta have some running shoes to live these days. And you gotta use your shell as a home. Yeah, you gotta carry it all alone. You gotta use that shell as a home. You gotta carry it all alone. You gotta use that shell as a home to live these days. 'Cause you gotta have a spiky shell. You gotta have one. You gotta wear it well. You gotta have a spiky shell. You gotta have one and wear it well. You gotta have a spiky shell to live these days. You gotta have a spiky shell to live these days.
How many songs have you written?
I don't know.
1 billion, 1 trillion?
Oh, I don't know.
Mm-mm.
It depends on how long something needs to be to count as the song. Maybe like 60. You've probably written a lot more songs than that, Patty.
I've written over 200.
That's great.
35 years, girl.
Well,
I'm way ahead of you.
I'll aspire to get up there, Patty. You give me something to look forward to. So, 2. All right, the next one is going to be a song that I wrote about a specific situation, but I think that there are parallels where it's applicable to other situations too. This song is called Migrant Caravan Protest Song. It's about late 2018 when there were a lot of people from countries south of the U.S. coming to its border. And I wrote this song asking for a humanity in approach to that. And even though that's not our current situation, I think it's a good song for just asking for humanity in an approach to any political decision making in general.
All over the world.
And yeah, it's a cappella. Take a sip of water real quick and then sing it for you. Excuse me, Mr. President, have you heard the news? Would you walk a mile in their flip-flop shoes? The golden rule has suffered in our nation as of late. We're seeing so much love replaced by bigotry and hate. But now here comes a caravan that's 7,000 wide, a chance to open up our hearts and let the world inside. Excuse me, Mr. President, have you heard the news? Would you walk a mile in their flip-flop shoes? I hear that in Honduras we bought up lots of land, deregulated coffee made the military grand, and all across the region we've backed dictators and coups. Does it really sound like we are innocent to you? Excuse me, Mr. President, have you heard the news? Would you walk a mile in their flip-flop shoes? There's versions of the spirit that say we are all one, that say we're all connected, each of us under the sun. There's versions of the spirit that say we should not care. Let's look out for each other and forget those over there. Excuse me, Mr. President, have you heard the news? Would you walk a mile in their flip-flop shoes? With 15,000 weapons and 15,000 men, we're making a mistake that we should never make again. We've got all the materials for gates and guns and walls, but do we have the courage to make brothers of us all? Excuse me, Mr. President, have you heard the news? Would you walk a mile in their flip-flop shoes? We've got no room for prejudice, we've got no room for hate. Let's open all our hearts and minds before it is too late. Excuse me, Mr. President, have you heard the news? Would you walk a mile in their flip-flop shoes?
Yeah, it was a heavy thing a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Very heavy.
And it just speaks to like some lasting issues of interconnectedness. We are one big world, and the problems never really stop or end at a border. So I think we're all responsible for trying to find ways to take care of ourselves within and outside of our country. So the last song that I would like to play is a song that my mom, Catherine Bates, wrote, and it is called Tuvamond, which means all the world, or Tout le monde est beau aujourd'hui, which means all the world is beautiful today. Oh, and I bet you and Bob probably speak French, don't you?
Un petit peu, ma.
I'm guessing.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe you do.
Oui.
Great. Enough to understand the song, I'm sure.
Si.
So this song is in French, but I also will sing it in English as well, so that people can understand what's going on. But basically it says, all the world is beautiful today, all the earth is beautiful today. That's pretty much the song. Maybe you'll want to sing along.
Sure.
Tout le monde est beau aujourd'hui. Toute la terre est belle aujourd'hui. Aujourd'hui, tout le monde, toute la terre, tout le monde est beau aujourd'hui.
Oh, merci beaucoup. Do you have CDs?
No, not yet.
Oh, woman.
I have a monthly program where if people sign up, I send them songs every month, and I don't have CDs right now, but I have what I call a song CSA program. People can sign up for if they can learn more at the website, which you have the information for.
Well, little lady, the half hour is over. Oh my goodness, I'm gonna miss you.
Well, it was such a pleasure to connect with you so much. Thank you and Bob both for the pleasure of involving me in this.
This is Patty Hunter of Patty's Page. Thank you so much for coming into my show, Claire, and you did an excellent job as usual. Thank you.
Thank you, Patty. It was good to be here and connect with you and to get a chance to share music with the world. Thank you so much.
We'll see you next week. Thank you.
Godspeed, my love, until we meet again. You're always in my heart and every dream. Don't let this time apart give in to all our fears. God will keep us close from up above. So until we meet again, Godspeed, my love. God is with us always, for the